Hi, my name is Dr. Natalie Candela. I'm a hypnotherapist and a transformation coach. Welcome to my channel. You're about to listen to a recording of one of my regression sessions. Enjoy. And as you come to the surface, I want you to tell me the very first thing that you see below you.
See and sand like I'm on a beach.
Anything around you other than sand?
Cliffs. There's some sort of a town behind me, but it's off in the distance a little.
And is it daytime or nighttime?
I feel like it's early in the morning. It's pretty quiet.
Does it feel warm or cool?
Cool.
So I'd like you to look down at where your feet are and tell me what you're wearing on your feet.
Sandals.
What do they look like?
Brown leather.
And as you become aware of your body, tell me what you're wearing on your body.
Seems like just fabric wrapped around. It's long.
What color is the fabric?
Almost like a grayish blue with some white.
Do you usually wear it like that for clothing?
Yeah.
Do you have anything else on your body? Any jewelry? Anything that you carry in your hands?
I have almost like a brooch of some sort clipping my clothing together up on my shoulder. I feel like my hair's pulled up and it's got goldish string in it. Pieces of my hair are flying around in the wind.
What texture is your hair?
Wavy, soft.
You're in a female body, correct?
It feels female.
Are you young or old?
Young.
About what age?
Mid-teens, early 20s.
Are you healthy?
Seems that way.
Become aware of where you're standing and why you're there.
I feel like I just need to be away from people, just time to myself. Feel a little sad, but not too sad, just down.
Why is that?
I just feel like I'm lost with my life.
You said that there is a city or a town close by?
Yeah, off in the distance I can see it.
Is that where you live?
Feels like I live maybe a little bit outside of there.
So on the count of 3, you will see yourself standing in front of a place where you live. 1, 2, and 3. Tell me what you see.
I see it almost looks like a palace.
Describe it to me.
There's torches on the outside. You can see the fire burning. There's a big wooden door, dark wood door. The entrance. I feel like I don't want to go in there.
It's alright, you can just stay outside for now. How big is the palace?
It seems not too large, but definitely not small. It seems like it's close to the beach that I was at.
Notice if you see any other people around or any other activity around.
It's very quiet. There's some men standing guard outside.
Can you tell me what they're dressed like?
The clothes similar to mine. Not really wearing too much of anything protective. They have looks like gladiator sandals, and a sword and a shield. That's about it. There's 2 of them outside.
So I'd like you to go ahead and walk towards the entrance, or however you would enter.
It's not the way I go.
How do you go?
I go around the side where I'm not seen. I feel like I was sneaking out. But I go around, and there's like a little door that goes into a courtyard of some sort in the middle. I go in there. I feel like I want to sit down for a minute.
Okay, and you can go ahead and do that. And know that you will feel at peace at all times. And if there is anything that disturbs you, you will be able to observe it as though on a screen. While you're sitting down for a moment, describe to me what you see in the courtyard.
There's a lot of foliage. It's somewhat well kept, but at the same time, it just seems a little chaotic for a place that's supposed to be a little peaceful. Like the plants are just falling over the pots that they're all in. I see vines.
Is there someone who's supposed to take care of this area?
I'm sure there is, but there's no one that pops in my mind.
Do you like coming here?
Yes and no. Like, I used to enjoy it, but it's not the same as it was.
What happened?
I feel like we lost our family. Our family went through something. We're not doing as well as we were financially. I feel like we're losing the palace, or it's not going to be ours for much longer.
We'll come back to that. Tell me why you felt you just wanted to sit down for a moment.
I just feel heavy.
Where are you heading from here?
I don't know. I feel like I don't want to stay here.
Okay. You're going to be able to walk through the palace without that sense of heaviness. Almost like a ghost, just sort of float through, look around, without really being impacted by the feelings and emotions of the present moment. Take me on a little tour. Tell me what you see there. And then also tell me who lives there.
I feel like maybe my father and I. Feels like I have siblings still there, but I don't see them. I feel older than them. My dad is a pretty high standing somehow. Not a king, I don't think, but maybe he works for a king. But I feel like our family's lost something. We can't stay there. It's really beautiful inside. I see lots of light, firelight, stone. Stone seems lighter color, a beige or a yellow, sort of. Lots of hanging sheer curtains in some of the walkways. It's very pretty. I see what I feel like is my father, just his back's towards me when I walk in.
How's he dressed?
He has robes on. I feel like he's contemplating something. I don't know what.
Is it okay for you to approach him?
Yeah.
Do you wish to approach him?
Yeah.
So go ahead and do that and greet him. How do you greet him?
I touch his shoulder and he turns around. I can sense that he's trying to keep it together in a way. He just smiles at me, but I know that he's not okay. He's worried. I feel like he's got pressure to keep it together.
Is your mother alive?
I don't think so.
Do you remember your mother?
The only thing I see is long, curly, golden hair. She just seems like a light, happy person, but she's not here.
Do you say anything to each other with your father?
He asks me where I've been. I tell him the truth. I tell him that I snuck out and went to the beach. I was supposed to be asleep, I think. And he just kind of laughs like it's not a big deal.
Why did you think that it was going to be a big deal?
I feel like I just didn't want people to know that that's where I go. When I have trouble with things, that's where I go.
So on the count of 3, we're going to travel back a little bit. When something happened that put the events in motion that led you to this day. 1, 2, and 3. Just become aware of what happened.
My mother died. Maybe she had a lot of money or her family.
When did that happen?
Recently.
Did she have an official position within the city?
I feel like she was a seer or something. She had gifts. People came to her. And I feel like my father works under a king or something. The two of them together had a pretty high standing in the community.
And what happened to your mother?
I feel like it was natural causes, but unexpected.
What did she experience?
I'm feeling like a heart attack.
How old was she?
Young, maybe mid-30s to early 40s.
And so once she dies, what begins to happen after that?
My dad is really sad. He's just unhappy. He seems like he's off in his mind. I don't think he stopped doing his job, but maybe just doesn't care to do it anymore. And I'm not old enough to do much to help. We don't have as much income or financial support now that she's gone, because people would come to her and pay, and we don't have that now. I feel like I've got a little brother maybe, and I think he's still alive.
So become aware of who owns this palace. Does it belong to your family, or do you just reside there?
I think we just live there. I don't think it's ours. I think we lived there because of the position that my family had.
And in what capacity does your father serve?
Seems like he's the head of an army of some sort.
And the one that he reports to?
That would be the ruler of the place.
And what do you know about this ruler?
He is very business, it seems. I know my dad was always cautious with him.
What does he rule over?
The town that I saw behind me and the beach, all of it.
Is it considered a kingdom, a city?
A city.
Is the ruler displeased with your father?
I think so.
Why is that?
I think he feels that he's slipping on his job. He's not doing as well. So I think the position's going to someone else, and we just want to go. I don't think we feel unsafe, but I feel like he doesn't trust him. And I don't feel that the ruler understands the grief my father's suffering.
So on the count of 3, I'd like you to move to the next significant moment or event in that life. 1, 2, and 3. Tell me what's happening.
Taking care of my father. He's sick.
What's happening with him?
He's caught something and he's sick. We don't have a lot of money. I don't even know if we're living anywhere. And I'm trying to take care of him. I just see him wrapped up in a blanket, sipping something from a bowl of some sort, a wooden bowl. And I feel sad.
Is it just you and your father, or are your brothers there as well?
I feel like my brother's playing. My brother's little, maybe 4 or 5.
What is your father experiencing?
He's got a fever.
How old are you now?
Maybe a year or 2 older.
So just look around and become aware of where you are with your father.
Seems like we're in a similar type area where there's sand, water, and rocks. Like we're almost in a cave of some sort off the beach.
Is this a place where you permanently live, or are you just passing through?
We've been there for a little while, but it feels temporary at the same time. Like we've just stayed for a little while because maybe he's not feeling well.
And were you on your way somewhere?
I think we were looking for a place. Feels like we haven't had a home since we left the other one.
Becoming aware of what happened to your finances, because it seems that if your father was in the service to the ruler, he would be compensated for that.
It seems like he just wanted no part in it after my mom died. He wanted to go. I feel like we lost our money. I don't feel like he was well compensated at all.
You lost it in what way?
We weren't getting any money anymore. Like everything we had was taken. We had to go.
How are you surviving?
I feel like we're very much struggling. I feel like I make something, fishing nets or clothes of some sort, and I sell them in the town. We're so close to that place, but I feel like we stay out of sight mostly. I don't think we knew where to go.
So you don't have any other family around?
No.
So on the count of 3, you will move to the next significant moment in that life. 1, 2, and 3. Tell me what's happening.
My father's gone now. He died. It's just my brother and I. I see us in a small wooden home. Lots of wood.
How old are you?
Maybe 20.
Did your father ever recover from that time that he was ill and had fever?
No.
So what did you do after he passed?
We burned his body. I feel like I kept his sword.
Is burning how you take care of the bodies?
Yeah, it seems that way. Maybe it's the best, most honorable way we could have done it for him.
Did you do it on the land or on the water?
Right by the water. when we were on the sand.
And then where do you go?
It seems that we walked and we found an abandoned home. It's very run down. I feel like we just moved in. Nobody was there.
And so that's where you live now?
Yeah.
So tell me how things are going and how you're taking care of everything.
My brother and I fish. We make a lot of things by hand. I'm not good at it. When it comes to building, I struggle. I don't really know what I'm doing, but I try.
Building what?
Like fixing up the place we live, little things. And I still feel like I travel and sell fishing nets, maybe bags of some sort, clothes. We've got a garden.
What do you grow there?
Potatoes, wheat. That's mostly what we eat. Fish, potatoes, bread.
What is the weather like where you live?
It's mostly the same. It gets warm, but not too hot because we live so close to the water. There's always a breeze. It always feels cool at night.
Does it ever get really cold?
Not too much.
So do you wear the same type of clothing all around the year?
Yeah, with the exception of a robe. Maybe a cloak, it looks like, that I button in the middle by my neck. I throw it around my shoulders. It is a hood.
And that's enough to keep you warm on cold days?
Yeah.
So you're able to fish all year?
Yeah.
And how do you fish?
We use nets a lot. It's easier that way, it seems.
Do you go out in a boat or do you just walk into the water?
Both. I feel like we have a little boat. I don't go out very far because I don't want anything to happen to me. I need to take care of my brother.
And do you have anybody else that you interact with or become friends with?
No, it feels very much just him and I. Very lonely. But I'm okay with it, kinda. It really feels like I just don't want to be around people too much anymore.
Why is that?
I just feel like people aren't trustworthy. I'm angry at people.
What happened to make you feel that?
I feel like people got the best of my parents and they're gone. And it didn't seem like anyone cared too much. So I don't want to be around them. I feel very obligated to survive and care for my brother because he's all I've got left.
And how's your brother doing?
He's happy. He's so young. He's maybe 7 now. He's very happy, adventurous, but he doesn't worry me. He's smart.
Does he think of you as his sister or his mother?
He knows I'm his sister, but I definitely feel like I mother him a lot. I'm very mother-like to him.
Do you ever think of having your own family?
No, I don't feel like I need to. I just feel like I've got enough on my plate right now. And I don't trust people. I don't feel like I want to bring anyone else in. I'm afraid to lose more people.
So on the count of 3, you will move to the next significant event in that life. 1, 2, and 3, and tell me what you're seeing.
I see myself with a family.
Tell me about it.
I'm married. He's a good man. I'm probably about mid-20s. early 30s. I feel like I'm pregnant with a child. And my brother lives with us still, because he's still young.
And where are you living now?
In a nicer home. Same kind of landscape, but the water's more off in the distance. We're more inland.
So I'd like you to go back to the moment or to the time when this relationship started and tell me how it all began.
I feel like he kind of found me. My brother and I were fishing, just a normal day, and this man walked up to us and asked us if we needed any help. I think we were struggling with the net. It was rare to see somebody come out that way. It just kind of started there, because he seemed very kind and just out of the blue. It's almost like it was meant to happen.
Did you let him help?
Yeah.
And what did you learn about him?
He had a family, and he liked to walk and kind of adventure just for himself. And that's what he was doing that day, walking around. They don't come from money. He's very smart. I feel like he's a writer of some sort.
What does he write?
I feel like he writes to keep track of events.
Like a scribe or historian?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Very kind, very smart. That's how I feel about him.
And does someone pay him for that kind of work?
Yeah, someone that works for the king that I don't think I like very much.
On the count of 3, I would like you to see yourself having a meal. 1, 2, and 3. Describe to me what you see.
I see fish, grapes, cheese of some sort, wheat bread, potatoes, and maybe what looks like wine.
Where or how are you eating it?
We're eating it at a table, but it's not just the 3 of us. There's families there.
Who else is there?
His mother, his father, 2 sisters. They're twins. It just seems light and happy. Everything feels okay.
What are you sitting on?
It's like a bench, almost like tables long, rectangular, enough for all of us, and bench seats on every side of the table.
Do you have plates or
Wooden plates.
do you have any sort of utensils?
Maybe a fork, but it's like 3 prongs. That's it.
What do you eat with a fork?
The potatoes, the fish. That's it.
And who cooked the meal?
His mother and sisters and I.
So on the count of 3, I'd like you to move to the last day of that life. 1, 2, and 3. Tell me what's happening.
I feel like I'm older, but still somewhat young.
About what age?
50s.
And what's happening to you?
I'm laying in bed. I know I'm dying. It's not a secret. We all know.
Are you ill?
Yeah.
What are you feeling?
Weak, nauseous, sweaty.
How long have you had the symptoms?
Off and on, I feel like I've been struggling with it for maybe the last few months.
Do you have any kind of healers that can help you or tell you what's wrong?
I feel like I had a doctor once. It was just like a flu or something, and I seemed to get over it, but it came back. And at this point, it's just been his sisters, my brother, him, pretty much the whole family, my child. I feel like I've got a daughter, maybe a son too. They're all taking care of me.
Are they all with you right now?
Yeah.
And are you able to talk?
Yeah.
Are you saying anything to each other?
I'm just telling stories. As bad as I feel, I'm just smiling. In a way, I feel peaceful about it. I feel like I ended up living a better life than what I thought I would. I just don't want to have to leave, but I'm very sick.
So as you take your next breath, just allow your spirit to lift gently out of your body and begin to experience relief and a sense of well-being. And as your spirit looks at the life that you just left behind, tell me your first thoughts and feelings about it.
I feel like that was a very hard beginning of my life. It was a tough experience, but I overcame a lot. I had to grow up very quickly. It seems like it was a happy ending in a way.
You did have a lot of years with your husband, didn't you?
Yeah. All of that just seems like happiness. That's how it feels.
Now as you become more aware in your spirit state, you may find that there's someone greeting you, welcoming you back. Let me know if you're noticing someone there.
I want to say my grandmother. I feel her energy, her happiness.
Your grandmother from that life?
No, from this one.
Just allow yourself to connect with her.
Big hug.
Mm-hmm. As she greets you there, she has a message for you about anything that is appropriate for you at this moment.
She just smiles and says, "See how strong you are."
I want you to become aware if in that life her soul was present with you. And if she was, then who was she?
My mother.
So it is your mother that came to welcome you back. I want you to ask her why it was important for her to die so young and for you to be without a parent.
I feel really sad right now, so she just explains to me that I'm going to experience this a lot, and I'm supposed to learn how to appreciate, to have love, but also to be able to let it go and still love myself.
I want you to ask her why you will be experiencing it a lot. What is the significance of that?
Because I doubt myself and my strength, and loving people is the most powerful thing that I know. And to be able to work through that loss, it's just teaching me to appreciate my strength.
So you're experiencing that a lot because you're still developing that realization of your own strength?
Yeah.
And I want you to ask her, once you come to that realization and you really stand firm in your strength, will the lesson be over? And will this pattern be completed?
It seems that way. But it also seems like she's telling me loss is going to be inevitable for you, but once I stand firm, I'll know how to handle life better.
So I want you to ask her if she can help you bring into your awareness other lives that continued that pattern of loss in finding your strength, in standing in your own power.
I've seen myself maybe in the early 1900s. I'm a woman. I feel like I'm a very strong, independent woman in this life. But it's still not an easy life. I've had to fight a lot to prove myself. I'm a very well put together, well off woman. And I feel like I'm doing it by myself.
As you look back at that life, get a sense of whether you succeeded in the experience that you wanted to have, or if there's a need to continue that lesson.
In that life, I feel like I was successful in achieving that, but I didn't allow many people in, so I wasn't really experiencing a lot of love or happiness. I had money, I could take care of myself, but I didn't have much, if any, love.
So it was important not only to be able to take care of yourself, but to also allow people in, allow love in.
Yeah.
So that's part of this pattern of lessons.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I'd like you to bring your attention back to the soul that was your mother and your grandmother, and ask where she thinks you are in your progress. Are you getting the wisdom and the knowledge that you're trying to gain?
She knows that I'm stuck. I feel stuck. She knows that something. I feel like I know what I need to do, but I'm so scared to make moves. She's saying to me, it's not a big deal. You're thinking about it too much. And it feels like I am starting to realize those things. I just have to make a decision.
And when you're afraid to make a move, what kind of things do you find yourself being afraid of?
Hurting people with my choices.
And as you become aware of the two lives that you've observed right now, how did it play out in those lives? How do you feel that your choices hurt others?
The first life, I don't feel like my choices hurt others, but I feel like I could have found a way to do more. Like I could have found a way to help my father more, because I was able to take care of my brother. It's like I learned that after the fact. And then in the other life, I don't feel like I allowed myself to care about other people like I like to do. But I feel like in this life, who I am now, loving people is a huge part. And I don't want to hurt people. But as I'm figuring myself out more, I'm realizing that what I need is pretty important. And I need to stand up for that.
And I want you to ask that soul if it was your responsibility, and it is up to you to keep someone alive when the soul decides to leave. In other words, was it your failure as a daughter that your mother died at an early age? Was it your failure as a daughter that your father died at an early age? Or were those decisions made by those souls to leave when they left? And I want you to hear what your mother has to say.
First thing is, it's not your fault. My responsibility is what I do after, and that I should be proud because I was there for my father when he was hurting and needed someone, and that was the best gift I probably could have given him.
So do you understand now how what you did not living up to the expectation may look different from what you did being healing for others.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. Because I find a lot of joy in being able to help people. I remember wanting to, in this life, take care of my dad. And that makes sense to me now, why I felt like I needed to take care of him.
I want you to ask your mom, once her soul made a decision to leave in that life, if anything that anybody did would have prevented her from leaving.
No.
So her death, was that her decision, or was it a failure of people around her?
She agreed to it.
And I want you to thank her for all the wisdom that she shared and release her, knowing that you can get in touch with her whenever you wish. And as she steps back into the background, there's someone else that comes forward.
It's my dad.
How does he look?
He's just happy.
What age does he appear to be?
He seems young, like I remember him as a teenager. He just seems happy, and there's light glowing around him.
And what does he say to you?
I missed you. And he's just got his arms wide open.
So take a moment to reconnect with him. And you have some serious things to discuss with him.
Yeah.
And the first one is perhaps why it was the appropriate thing for him to leave at that time, or if he feels that it wasn't appropriate.
He just says, I'm sorry, I gave up. And he's sorry because he didn't realize how much it was going to hurt us. He really thought that we were better without him. He knows it's because that's how he felt about himself. Because I'm telling him, you know how much I loved you and how much I wanted to help you. I feel like he wishes he didn't do it now. But it is what it is.
I want you to ask him if the times that you sense him around you, that is in fact him.
He says, hell yeah, it is. He's like, you know.
You can clarify now if he has a specific symbol or specific sign that he chooses to use that will let you know that it's him.
What I'm getting is that music is a big thing, which makes sense because I'm always hearing songs at the right time. The crow feathers were a big thing in the beginning because he knew that's what would catch my attention, that it was him. But music is a big thing because we always used to jam out together. He just seems so young. And he just seems like he's just a real cool guy.
I'm noticing a pattern of loss, appreciation of love in your life, and understanding your own personal power in dealing with the loss. And it's almost like you're all replaying it to each other over and over. And it seems like he left because he was also experiencing loss.
Yeah.
So ask him to give you a new perspective on that so that you can move forward in your own soul journey.
He just tells me, you're capable, you know what you need to do. And that he's sorry that this has been hard, but he wants me to keep moving forward because even though he's not physically here, he's always there and he's watching out for me. And that I just need to stop second guessing myself, because there's not anything I can't do. He just keeps smiling.
So I want you to ask him one more thing. When he was alive, he had a preference for...
Yeah.
I want you to ask him if his position changed, if he has anything new that he wants to tell you about either one of those men.
He tells me that Jeff is a good guy, but if I decide not to stay with him, that's okay, because he knows that I feel like I've outgrown him. But it almost seems like there's no clear answer whether he's the one. It just seems like unless he's able to meet me where I'm at, it's just not going to happen. And I shouldn't waste my time.
Are you okay with him releasing you from an unspoken expectation?
Yeah. He knows that I just want to live my life and find my happiness, whatever that may be. And I don't have to worry about his judgments here anymore.
Good. See if he has one last parting piece of wisdom or encouragement for you.
He says, I love you very much. You can do this. And he says I'm beautiful, and he just smiles at me. Gives me a thumbs up. It's very much like he was. Just better.
Beautiful. And with that, he steps back. But of course you know that he is around all the time.
I can just feel something in my chest.
Yes. That is your heart connection through the heart center. And now I'd like you to allow all of those images to fade away, and I want all of the consciousness and personality of Cayla to integrate back into the body. Now I would like to speak to Cayla's higher consciousness. May I speak to you and ask you questions?
Yes.
Thank you. So I know that the higher consciousness could have brought forth many different lifetimes for Cayla to review today. But you chose the life of a young woman. And I'd like you to tell me why you chose that particular lifetime.
She needs to understand that this isn't the first time she's made it through such a hard loss, because she's doubting how she's going to get through this. But she can, and she has before.
So can you speak more about this particular soul lesson that she is going through? What is it that you are trying to understand about human experience through this?
Why we love people and we lose them, and that's just the way it is. But it's better to have people and love them for as long as you have them, and to live a life without that love, because that's what it's all about.
The other side of this after the loss, what kind of personal skills do you want her to experience?
She needs to know they're not really gone, and she needs to believe in what she feels and what she knows, and that she can carry those lessons with her, because she can use her grief as strength. She's very strong. She's able to reflect on things, and that helps her improve, because when she's fully herself and okay with herself, she's powerful, and she's a beautiful soul, and she helps other people through her experiences.
So is the soul that took on the role of her mother part of your soul group that travels together through lives?
Yes. She recognizes it more as her grandmother.
Right. She told Cayla that loss will be part of her experience. I want you to put it in perspective, though, for Cayla right now. Should she live in an expectation that she will continue to lose everyone around her?
She will still lose people, but it's not going to affect her negatively anymore at this point. She's on a path to understanding and bettering herself. She doesn't need to learn this lesson anymore to the extent that she has.
So is shifting perspective on death an important part of this journey?
Yes.
What can you tell her about death that she doesn't understand yet?
Death is not the end of a soul, person, spirit. Everyone has their purpose to be here and their purpose to leave, and that's okay, even if it seems tragic, like the loss of her father, which it is, but she needed that experience to be who she is now.
And if there is love or connection between souls, is there an end to that?
No. That's why she still feels so connected.
Now I'm wondering if you can release some of the sadness and pain that she has been holding on to over time, perhaps through that center of her chest. And as it's released, her body fills with a beautiful healing light. And if there is something else that you can do or that is more appropriate, please go ahead and do that to help her heal and release. And let me know.
No.
And is that done?
Yeah.
That energy that's making her feel stuck, has it been fully released?
I would have. She's still clinging to some of it.
Can you help her continue to vent it out at a rate that's appropriate to her?
Yeah.
Good. One of the things that Cayla is struggling with is figuring out the direction of her relationships. She has two potential candidates, figuring out which one is the one that she's supposed to be with. So I'd like to ask you about the soul contracts that have been made with both of these men. What is each of them contributing to her soul journey, and what is she in return contributing to theirs?
Was her first love interest that hurt her emotionally, let her down. She needs to learn to stand up for herself. And she's done that with him now. And he respects her totally differently. Now she knows and feels confidence that she can move forward from that if she wants to. That's her choice.
So he's there to help her stand up for herself?
Yeah.
Good. I'd like you to do the same for Jim. What his purpose was in coming into her life.
To show her that she wasn't stuck like she felt. He was a breath of fresh air in a sense when she needed it. And he was also there when she lost her dad, which she needed him at that point. He's taught her positive aspects of love that she hadn't experienced before. There's potential there, but a lot of it at this point is waiting on him, but she's kind of tired of wasting her time.
So from your perspective, if it's appropriate, please give her an indication of either your preference or highlight the direction that you would like her to take.
She doesn't necessarily have to count them out because she's not sure. But when she is sure, she needs to listen to herself. The only way that's going to happen is to keep finding herself. So right now she doesn't need to be with anyone.
Okay. So you mentioned listening to herself, and that's one of the things that Cayla wants to develop. It's connecting with you, with this higher wisdom, and meeting her spirit guide team. So can you give her tips or guidance on how she can develop that connection?
Keep reading and making connections with people that know this path, because she's brought to it for a reason. And spend some time with herself, trying to clear her mind. That way she'll be able to connect, but she's going to have to work at it because she's apprehensive and she doesn't realize it, but she's holding herself back in ways.
Are there things that you want her to pursue that would be helpful to her?
She needs a guided, almost timeline. You do this, then you do this, then you do this.
So are you saying that she needs to make time for this kind of spiritual journey into herself?
Yes.
Because we always have a tendency to put that on the back burner and say, I have too much going on, which is what she says.
Yeah.
And what would you say to her now?
Make that time. Keep finding your people because you're doing it. It's just the beginning of it.
Okay. And as far as meeting her spirit guides, is there anything that you want to tell her about that?
It'll happen once she finds ways to connect on her own. You're very happy and excited for her. She's supposed to be here.
Thank you. So she wants to know how she can learn to love herself better. And the reason for that question is that she's been dealing with issues of smoking and weight, and she wants to know how she can develop a better relationship with herself so she can let go of those things that no longer work for her.
She needs to incorporate things that she enjoys into her self-care more. Music when she goes for walks. She needs to understand that it's not a punishment to not eat things that are delicious. She can have that, but she needs to just be mindful every time she eats about the nourishment that it's giving her body. She needs to care more about herself, and she's starting to.
And when you said she needs to listen to herself, will she be receiving guidance from her body and from you about the kinds of things that are more nourishing to her?
Yes, she knows what makes her feel better. This is also another part of her just learning to listen to herself.
Good. So before we wrap up, I would like to ask you to scan her entire body from the head to the toes and let me know if anything is out of balance or needs attention.
She needs to continue working on her mental health, but she's doing that. And she needs to pay attention to her stomach when she eats certain things. It doesn't make her feel good.
What kinds of things?
Fast food. Not good. She loves it. Her chest. She has anxiety. She needs to find time to have calm in her day and relax. And then in her reproductive organs, she's got a lot of pain there. There's some issues going on there. And she's aware, her doctor's aware.
But I'd like you, the higher self, to go into her body right now and tell me what is happening there.
She may have trouble conceiving if she wants another child. She has cysts on her ovaries. It's possible she has endometriosis.
I want to make sure that Cayla's conscious mind steps aside right now and goes into deep sleep. We will come back to it later, but for now it needs to sleep and rest. And when I'm speaking to the higher consciousness of Cayla, with an understanding that you have knowledge and ability to explain things from a higher perspective. So I want you to look at her reproductive organs and give us a clear answer about what is out of balance there. And I also want you to address why that is happening. Why is this issue presenting itself?
Because she hasn't taken care of herself, and this is something that will motivate her to do so. She can have more children.
So it's just reminding her to take care of herself.
Yes.
Is there something you can do to help clear whatever is off balance?
Yes.
So I'd like you to go ahead and do whatever you can right now and just tell me what you're doing.
Placing my hands on her lower stomach, sending her warm, light energy to dissolve any problems that she may have inside of her.
How's it working?
It's working.
So continue doing that for as long as it needs to be done, and please continue with the scan.
I'm pulling tension out from her head and her chest. I can open it. I'm putting my hands around her heart and her lungs and just giving them a little extra, like a squeeze to help them. When she's anxious and not feeling well, she holds her breath. Sometimes she gets pains where her heart is, just her anxiety, and just helping her. And her legs hurt because she's always working. I'm just giving that same warm energy to her legs.
Is there any other area in her body that needs attention?
No.
So as you're cleansing and energizing her body, is that something that needs to continue into the future, or is whatever you're doing now sufficient?
She'll need me to do it a few more times. But a lot of it she's going to be able to do for herself. I just help her.
Okay, good. And is it completed for now, or are you still working on her?
I've got my hand on her head right now.
How's her chest feeling?
Light.
And her legs?
Relaxed.
And her abdomen?
Better. She feels better there.
And her head?
She has a headache.
You can release that. Open her blood vessels. Release the tension from her neck.
I'm done.
Good. Thank you. So before I let you go, I'd like to ask if there's any other message that you want to give directly to Cayla.
Take every experience as it comes and know that you can get through anything and still find your happiness you're searching for. It's just another stone in the stairway.
Thank you. I'm going to ask this higher consciousness to recede to where it belongs. With much love and thanks for the help and information that it has given Cayla today. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the session. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you click on the bell, you will be notified of any of my future postings. Thank you. Bye.